I'm working on this image and I just thought it was a great opportunity to show a couple little blending techniques that will also be a part of my full compositing course. But this wing was a perfect example of where some stuff might need to happen. You can see with this wing, there's some wrinkles and stuff in the fabric and it doesn't look quite like it's blended into the background, which is very soft. There's a bit of an edge here. I've already done some blurring and some of the other edge tricks, but it still needs some more as I'm adding different effects and things. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing with it. Using smudging. This is where I have it right now, and I'll just finish going along this edge and showing you how I'm doing that. This is just a smudge tool that you could just use a regular soft brush. I'm using a smudge tool that I picked up online, which I will eventually find the source for and include for you guys. For this edge here, actually let me show you the edge first. That's just being done with the blur tool. If you look up in here, like this is just not, if you look here, this is softly blended in. You can't really see an edge. It looks too much down here, but you won't ever zoom it this close, so it doesn't matter. But up here you can see where there's sort of an edge line, and that's very easily fixed by, you can either grab some of your background and clone it along there closer, or just use the blur tool on regular soft brush. Just very small. And what that does is grab from both sides and just kind of blend it in together. You can do it like, I've got a bit of a line here that I don't like. It's too strong. This is at 100% strength with the blur. I could maybe drop it down to about 80 if it seems a bit too strong. This is just one of those things you should always do when you have a background. This is a different background that I've put in. And so this is the kind of thing that you do to bring blur. You can also, when you actually do the mask, and I'll show this in the compositing course, when you're bringing this background in, you do sort of an initial rough mask, and as you come in closer and closer to refine that edge, you actually want at a very, once you get really close with a small brush and get it right along like this, then you want to make your brush bigger, about like so, and reduce the opacity to about 10% as you work on your mask, and actually let a bit of the edge of the brush spray. When you're using a soft brush, you get that spray around the edges, and actually let a bit of that background come over top of your image, and that helps to bring in that background as well. Or as I said, use the clone tool. Like in here, if it looks like there's too much of a dark line, I can grab my clone tool, stamp it up here, whoops, pushing the wrong button. Stamp it here where it's lighter, and then just come along. And just bring some of that background down right along the edge. And again, you get a nicer blend again that way. This here looks a bit funny. Little touch-ups along your edges are very important for making your whole image look good. Here I've got too much blur that's gotten rid of these leaves, so let's just see if, in this case I would just actually touch the stamp, or maybe we'll drag it, let's see what happens. They've got a bit of a repeat going on there, which you can sometimes have with a clone, as you know. We'll go back and fix that in a moment. If you go like this and just come across rather than drag it, that can help. Not with blur. Now that time I got 3 of those going on there. Don't like that. Sorry, I'm still fighting my cold. Getting better, slowly. Grab here, clone that branch down. Follow a branch. Like there's a branch I could follow, right? So I can bring that down. Make sure this edge is going right in. If you come over top of what you have, you can then go back with a mask and delete it. That's actually makes you for a cleaner edge, is actually come into your image a bit and then go back with a mask, and you can clean that up after. Let's just see if we can fix this a little bit here where it's doubled. So I'm going to take this part here and clean up some of the double there. If you actually reduce the opacity of your, I'll get rid of those two, clone stamp down to maybe 20%, you will get a better blend. I'm just going to bring it in like this. Fix that. Keep resampling for new areas. So here I have this double branch that I don't want, so I'm going to grab some of that yellow flower and just dot, or just grab up here and make some dots, because in this case, I go back to 100%. It's like dotted flowers anyway, so you can just add in flowers yourself. And if you end up repeating something that you don't want to, just delete it and go back. That works. Here we've got double stuff. And then if this edge looks funny, grab some of this from your wing and go back and clean that up. If you dot right adjacent to where you want to go and follow, you'll get a more accurate clone, because it's grabbing and following right along behind you what's there and just extending it over, if that makes sense. Dot here, clone here, and you can see where it's dragging from to give me what I want there. Oops, now it grabbed too far. So fiddling back and forth with that. So that's how I'm cleaning up this edges. This needs some more work here with the cloning. Like this branch, I would clone way out here. Bring the branch right up. Clone out here. Bring it up. Touch up that double whatchamacallit there, the highlight if afterwards. Just clean this up a bit. So lots of different ways to kind of blend it. You can see the dark line here. This might be a case where you want to. This again should have gone back with the mask. I'm past that level now. Excuse me, that layer now, so I'm not going to worry about it. But the more you can do this in your actual mask, the way easier. So now I'll show you how I'm working on the fabric, where it's just kind of crinkly and stuff. Let's do this section because it's really crinkly. So again, with a smudge tool, you can use the blur tool. That would work too. Let's just try that. So if you do that, you can just blur it. But it depends if you want blur or not. Depends on how blurry the wing is to begin with. That might not suit the image. If you don't want to blur it, then you might want to just smudge it out. So we'll go back to the smudge tool. I'll just do it on the soft brush just to show you how that looks, since that's something that everybody would have. When you go across your lines, you get rid of them when you go that. If you go this way, you'll follow lines. I have this on a very high strength, so it's kind of obliterating, but when you go this way, as you can see, it will keep lines. So lines that you want to keep and extend, you go this way, and lines you want to get rid of, you go crosswise. And you can just kind of get rid of them. Like, see, this one is extending down. If I do that, it's dragging that one down, so I don't want that. But if you I'm going to put this down to maybe 40%. So if I would just kind of squiggle over them first and then go this way. And I'm just sweeping my brush across those. This is a big wrinkle here, so I'm going to actually get rid of it this way first, crosswise. And maybe some of this to blend these, soften these before I go the other direction. I do want to keep some of that dimension on there with that darkness, but you can see how that... Now those ones are dragging along. I don't want them, so then I'm going to go this way before I go this way. And anytime if you need more color, like I need more white, I'm going to drag the white up into that. You can just kind of go like that, drag it in, and then smooth it out once you have the colors that you need there. You can either drag one direction or go back and forth. It kind of depends on what the area is going to need. Here I'm going back and forth and scrubbing that out basically. And I'm going to go bigger and just a little bit crosswise to soften that. And then one big sweep. You can see how that's just tidying that up. I'm just going to switch over to the smudge brush. If you Google smudge brushes online, you can find all kinds of them that are free. DeviantArt has a bunch. These ones are actually, I have a painting series that had some included in it, so that's where I got these from. I'm going to put this back up to 80%. Again, I want to go crosswise to get rid of these. It just has a little bit more texture. You can see like there's a shape on this brush, so it makes it look a little bit more natural than just the straight, smooth brush. So I'm going crosswise to just eliminate those to start, and then I'm going to just sweep this way. Scrubbing where I need to. I'm trying to avoid the veins of the wing. I may go back and soften them afterwards, but so here, see this line right here? If I go like this, across it, I can erase it basically. Go across this way, go across this way. I don't want this one totally gone because I want a bit of dimension, and then I go this way and smooth it out. Same with this one, I would probably keep because that's the fold of the wing. So I would just go this way a little bit, not quite as much, not obliterating it. Again, go this way to keep it. If I want to follow along the edge of it, I go this way. But you can go back, try both directions and just see how you get a nice blend with that. Here I've got little things I want to erase, crosswise. Maybe just soften the edge of this a bit and then swoop. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just working along on this image, smoothing out parts that I want. I'll then go closer into these veins and just smooth off those jaggy edges that it has. It's just from the embroidery of the wings. These are the wings that I made from a pattern from Enchanted Costumes, who are on Etsy. They are in my resource file in the group. Anyways, that should give you the idea of what I'm doing with that. So I've got a whole bunch more of these wings to go through and get those all blended in. I'll finish on the edges, run the blur tool, clone stamp, whatever I need to do to get that nice edge that looks like that wing is actually sitting there, not sitting on top. Hope that gives you some insight.